Call to order the City Council special meeting for October 22nd, 2014. The roll call, Ms. Bittner.
Mayor Slater?
Here.
Councilmember Campbell?
Here.
Councilmember Fleming?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson?
Here.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Here.
Councilmember Pennington?
Here.
Councilmember Teets?
Here.
All present. We have two items this morning to discuss. Number one is C1, a request for vote allowing employment under charter anti-nepotism provision with an introduction by City Attorney Lori Rick Bloom.
Yes, Mayor, and I'm not sure how much you want me to go into on this one, but this is a process that we have followed in the past, and it is required for any employee or any family member of the council member or the city manager. And we have two resolutions before you. The first is to excuse Councilmember Campbell from the vote, to allow him to abstain. And the second is to allow Colleen Campbell to proceed along the hiring process for the police service aide.
Thank you. So we will separate these. Somebody would like to move the first resolution, Councilman Fleming.
Resolved that Councilman Campbell be permitted to abstain from voting.
Moved by Councilman Fleming, supported by Councilman Teets, that we permit Councilmember Campbell to abstain from voting. Discussion.
This is just going forward in the future.
Just going forward in the future.
It is, I mean, it's like one vote. Oh, okay, second member.
As necessary.
Got it.
The vote, Ms. Bittner.
Mayor Slater?
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell?
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington?
Yes.
Councilmember Teets?
Yes.
Motion passes. It is very early in the morning, for those that are watching. Our second part of the resolution is to grant Colleen Campbell as a service aide to proceed in the process. Would somebody like to move that? Councilwoman Hoderick.
Resolved that approval is granted to hire Colleen Campbell as a Troy Police Service Aide should she successfully complete the remaining steps in the selection process.
Moved by Councilwoman Hoderick and supported by Mayor Pro Tem Henderson that we grant to hire Colleen Campbell as a Troy Police Service Aide should she successfully complete the remaining steps in the selection process. Discussion. The vote, Ms. Bittner.
Councilmember Fleming?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington?
Yes.
Councilmember Teets?
Yes.
Mayor Slater?
Yes, congratulations to Colleen and her dad. Next is C2, a Transit Center Memo of Understanding with an introduction by our city attorney, Lori Rick Bloom, and I would ask Council Pete Webster to please come to the table if he would like to.
My pleasure.
And I will turn this over to Lori.
Thank you, Mayor, for, first of all, for calling this special meeting to allow us to allow City Council to consider approving in concept a memorandum of understanding. We still are working, and I want to give thanks to Pete Webster, our outside counsel, because he was working as of, I think, 4 minutes ago. I think he got the last message trying to figure out this memorandum of understanding. We are required to appear in front of Judge Bowman today, and we're required to report our progress on trying to reach a memorandum of understanding. We're not there yet because there are still tweaks that are being done, and as you probably noticed, there were no exhibits to the memorandum of understanding that was provided to you. So we need to make sure that the exhibits say what we think they're going to say, and so because of that, we did, provide an alternate resolution, which is on the yellow sheet, which again would allow us to kind of work to get this finalized to make sure that the exhibits accurately reflect, what they are supposed to, what they're purported to represent. I can go into the details if you want, but basically, the agreement says that Troy's gonna take care of the Doyle Drive portion that's on Troy's property, and Grand Saco's gonna take care of the Doyle Drive portion and utilities and everything that's on Grand Saco's property. We're getting mutual insurance to cover each other in case something happens. We are placing some signs to indicate that it's private parking, but that's pretty much what we're going to do. And also that we've agreed that we are not going to, that SMART will not start operations unless and until we can go back to the court and get an order to that effect. But that will be, we will be able to go to the court 60 days after the entry of the order.
There are 3 resolutions that we can choose from. The one that is on the agenda, the first one on the yellow sheet, and the second one on the yellow sheet. And it's my understanding that council is recommending the bottom on the yellow sheet because there is some conversations going right now that we'll tweak this a little bit. And we had a discussion Monday evening about this. Mr. Webster, if you could just, if there's any changes since Monday night, maybe you could explain those and.
Certainly. After the discussion and direction that was provided on Monday night, I sent a markup of the memorandum of understanding to Grand Saco's council. Those were accepted in large part. I did receive just this morning from their attorney a suggested change to the insurance provision, which we're going to have to walk through a little bit yet. That is, it's not reflected in what was presented to you. The change, I'm just going to bookmark that topic for a second. So there is one minor aspect with respect to the the mutual insurance coverage. The exhibits, as Lori had mentioned, are not attached. In large part, I'm comfortable with them, except for one, which is what's called Exhibit D. Exhibit D is a markup of the site plan, and it specifically addresses the lighting switch changeover that we talked about on Monday evening. And so that's an open topic, and that's why we need just a bit of flexibility in attaching an appropriate exhibit to this document. We'll need to include staff and make sure that we're comfortable with those provisions. As Lori had mentioned, the other key element is that kind of consistent with our discussion. This says train service, of course, will move forward. We'll have the mutual insurance. We'll have an obligation to install certain signage on Grand Saco's property saying Transit Center patrons can't park over in this area near the Kohl's and Kroger, and that it will also then have the electrical changeover for the lighting that's on the Transit Center parcel. The last feature is that then once we have an understanding as to the bus service, and we come to some, either we come to some understanding as to the impact of the bus service onto the property and this road maintenance, long-term maintenance fund that we had discussed, or if we can't reach some agreement, then we would go to court and have the court resolve that particular issue. That's where we are. So we've made some progress.
And part of the reason that we are here at 7:30 this morning is because of the court case later on this morning, and we wanted the court to understand that at least this council is cooperating as much as they can to try and bring this to a resolution. So that's why we are here, and that's why it's important to us, I believe.
And I had, been conscientious about communicating the chain of events from Sunday when I received their written memorandum of understanding for the first time, and where we are today, and the efforts that the council has undertaken, and that at the court, which is this afternoon at 3 o'clock, I'll identify that to the court as well.
Any questions for Mr. Webster from council? Councilman Keats.
So this what is C2 at the bottom of the sheet is the one that that's being suggested to us.
Correct.
So I'll move the resolution. Resolve that the Troy City Council approves substance of the attached memorandum of understanding between the City of Troy, Grant, and Saco, and authorizes the city attorney, city manager to finalize the document, and once completed, to execute the document on behalf of the city.
Supported by all.
Moved by Councilman Teets and supported by all city council that we approve C2 as printed in red on the yellow sheet at the council table, the bottom resolution. Discussion, further discussion. The vote has been.
Mayor Pro Tem Henderson?
Yes.
Councilmember Hoderick?
Yes.
Councilmember Pennington?
Yes.
Councilmember Teets?
Yes.
Mayor Slater?
Yes.
Councilmember Campbell?
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you for all your hard work, and we'll see how it ends up today in court, and we'll get a report from City Attorney Bloom, I'm sure, after that. I don't see anyone here from the public, so we are adjourned. Thank you for coming this morning.